All right, welcome to another episode of Served. I am Andy Roddick. As always with us, John Wertheim, producer Mike, Techie Sean in the house. Social Sophie had just a busy day in New York, so she is not in the studio. She's like Twitter famous, guys.
I mean, people were stoked to see her at the live show.
It was fun. Shows that she is doing a great job, as well as the rest of the team. Just kind of figuring it out as we go. My favorite thing about this is that I don't have to understand any of the camera setups or anything else, or volume controls, or when it's just, I'm like, just wind me up and let me go. Best part about it. But team was awesome. So thank you to you guys. You guys were great. Listen, we had a fun trip in New York. We did a live show live at the Chase Lounge. We had a great time. I spilled Olipop all over my crotch.
Leanie's great footwork and his scampers around the court. Emma Navarro is doing... Whoa! Oh, party foul.
Techie Sean shook it up.
Techie Sean smoked me. Just shook up the soda and then just let it rip tater chip right there on a live show. So I played this thing on after we filmed the live. So we filmed the live show to, I don't know, like 6:15-ish. Something like that. And then I had to play, when Budarak texted me, he's like, oh, we're doing this like little fan week thing. You know, you're going to play mixed doubles with, my partner changed 3 times, but against like Delpo and Sabatini. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, that's great. And I've done these before where like I played James Blake out on like court 17. And so listen, I was happy to do it. Eric came on the show, bingo bango. And so I get on site and I still don't know. It was on Arthur Ashe, and it was like almost sold out.
It was a lot of people.
And for someone who doesn't play tennis, that is frightening. Like that court is massive. All a surprise to me. Didn't know.
That was my first time in there.
I know. Tell me about your experience, because like John, I'm telling you, they literally don't like. This is not like the tennis crowd. Like we have a bunch of we've just mixed together a bunch of misfits to do a show. But tell me your thoughts, and Techie Sean, I don't know if there's a microphone over there or not, but guys, give me your thoughts on like kind of US Open. You had been up there to scout the Chase Lounge for all the production stuff, but it's not the same when there's no one there. Like it's talk me through your thoughts, U.S. Open of things, and remember that we were still 5 days before the tournament actually starts.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw Eric at your event. He came in and said hi. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, we were just at the Cincinnati Open, and I grew up going to the Cincinnati Open, but their fan experience was completely different than what I grew up with, a decade ago. And I was like, man, this is really impressive. This is really cool. And then you go to the U.S. Open, you're like, oh, I can see where they got the idea from. Because literally the U.S. Open is a 10x of that. And it's just everything going on. Coco Gauff's over here with Billie Jean King. Tiafoe's just walking through like the center square. Like he's coming down to watch Agassi and everyone play. And then when the crowd gets going in that space, and it was pretty full. I mean, people were in the upper deck. You just feel like everyone's on top of you. And like the noise level is insane. I can't imagine what it's like playing in center court, having to be dead quiet where a pin could drop and then an epic point happens and that place just like erupts. And like it gave me chills watching exhibition matches. It was pretty awesome.
Andre put it really well one time. He said like the greatest show of respect with a New York crowd is when you can actually get a New York crowd completely silent.
That's cool.
And it actually makes a ton of sense. It was fun for me to be back there. Like, I don't know. You never think you retire. You don't think you're going to hit there in front of people again. Like I've done some corporate hits and like, but that's like you're hitting at like 6:30 in the morning before they actually open anything up. Like the lights are barely on. It was fun. It was a good time.
One thing though, I will say that Techie Sean and I were those guys with the honeydew glasses in our pockets that you made fun of.
See,
it's here. I have it.
But okay, I'll give you some grace, even though that's against my nature. There's a difference between having one at night and then like taking it home. I've seen people cling to those things like they're bars of gold for 14-hour days. Like,
I mean, for what you pay for them, it's pretty damn close.
Hey, JW, what do you think of kind of Fan Week and how it's come together? It seems like it's become a thing quickly. Like, I don't remember. They used to have Arthur Ashe Kids Day, and it was basically like one day, and they had some cool pop acts. But I just say props, like good. You know, people are coming for free, watching qualies matches, low ticket prices to see Alcaraz, Djokovic, Agassi, McEnroe all in the same court. Just props. It's the type of things that tennis needs. It's a friendly hug, a friendly handshake to start the tournament.
First hit is free. You get people in, you get them to watch tennis. I'm sure the USTA's, the concessions aren't free, the merch isn't free, but you get people into the grounds, they walk around, they see what the big deal is, they get a sense of the vibe. I was going to tell Mike and Sean, I was prepared to say, listen, welcome to the National Tennis Center. You guys should come back once the tournament starts and see how crazy it gets. There must have been 20,000 people on the grounds. I mean, you couldn't get a burrito with less than half an hour wait. I mean, it was absolutely jumping yesterday, and it's a great way to kick off the tournament. I think it's like baseball spring training, right? I mean, I think it's fans are realizing it's a great way to see their favorite players up close and in person, and quality matches still are great drama with great players, and you can't beat the price. I say, like, everybody goes home happy, right? I mean, the tennis is minting new fans. You get up and running. This is it's not like the first Monday comes and we have to make sure that the court is surfaced okay. But you get the feeling this is also a great dress rehearsal for the event. But there was a lot of energy and a lot of character and a lot of vibe and aura and atmosphere at the National Tennis Center yesterday. And I was thinking, wait a second, we're 5 days away from this tournament starting, and you'd never know it if you walked around the grounds.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, talk about aura. And so it's a different thing. Like, you don't view the people you played with kind of the same. They're like your contemporaries, and it's just different. I'll tell you, I had a hard time putting 4 words together around Gabby Sabatini. Like, I was stunned by her, and she was so nice. And for sure, she thinks, like, I had like a 6-second delay on every thought when I was in front of her. She was just like stunning and fitter than I'll ever be again in my entire life, and just phenomenal. So sweet and nice. And I was lucky I got to play with Caroline Wozniacki, who's just like listen, if you get paired with someone, sometimes like it's easy, sometimes it's always easy, but like Caroline's the best. Like, she's just so easy to get along with. Had kind of a deep dive conversation before we went on, just about traveling with kids, how stuff's different now versus, before she retired the first time. She was just great. I would love to have her on the podcast, because I think that's a very unique perspective. In the locker room before we go on, we were just in like a little grouping, and it was me, Alcaraz, McEnroe, Novak, Tiafoe was there, and we're just kind of shooting the shit. And then that splintered off. Good? It was great. And then I ended up having like a 20-minute conversation with Novak and Mac, and we got it was a debate about the GOAT, but not the conversation you would think that we would be having. It wasn't about Novak. It was about LeBron and Jordan for like 20 minutes, and like the why. And we ended up giving G other shtick. Mac was choosing every player from the 80s.
Novak wasn't fighting for Kobe?
No, he was a Jordan guy.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Where did Novak come down?
He was a Jordan guy. And the question that I posed to them, and it was great. Like, everyone was laughing. It was light. It was nice. It was nice to be kind of back in the locker room and remember kind of the spirit of the locker room. But my question was basically, and it then built itself into like a longer conversation. It's like any conversation that any sports nerds would have at any sports bar, anywhere, anytime. Probably going on at Sonder Brewery in Cincinnati right now. But I said, he's like, Jordan's the best of all time. It's like, okay, we can argue X's and O's. I said, if you could draft one NBA player to start a franchise around, who would that player be? Different conversation. Better conversation.
One player in the entire history of the league?
Yeah.
Doesn't that depend on what your asset? If you need a center, take Bill Russell.
But that's the point.
Depend on what your assets are?
Great point. But that's the entire point. You draft LeBron because he can play 5 positions, and you can build around that. It's like, if the next best name off the board is a center, then that's great.
Yeah, and you're always picking best available.
Kind of
that.
Yeah. I mean, he sets you up, 1 through 4 maybe, or at least 2 through 4 minimum. Anyway, so that's the conversation we had. It was a great time. I got to sneak out and watch the Alcaraz, Agassi, Novak, Mac. We were on right after them, so I snuck out and watched like 10 minutes. And it was my favorite part, I think, of the entire night was it doesn't even make sense that you could kind of hit inside-out backhands that cleanly because it's not something you actually do in singles, right? You hit a cross-court, you hit it down the line. You rarely run around a forehand and to hit a backhand inside-out. It just doesn't happen. Andre and Novak get into this like inside-out backhand rally where they go 20 deep. And I'm going, I mean, how often do you get to see the two that are the best at that shot at the two-hander just ripping it for entertainment? Like it was, I was a fan all over again. Anyways, my experience was great. The live show was awesome. We had to talk about the center stuff. So we had to kind of throw a little bit of a wet blanket over the live show, but also listen, if we're like an actual show, we have to talk about stuff, even if it's not fun and even if it's polarizing. So net, great time had by all. I was back out on site at 7 a.m. to do something this morning. Got on a flight. We landed. Techie Sean, producer Mike, straight into the studio and
no draw special.
It's a hell of a drum roll there. Let's put a drum roll there.
It's one of our favorite traditions. Make the host looks stupid. All right. For those of you who have not listened to our draw shows before, we wait till the draw comes out, obviously. And then a lot of the experts, and pretty much all the experts, probably do the responsible thing and actually digest the draw and look at it before commenting. That's not what I do. So, John Wertheim, you've seen the draw?
Yeah, do we want to tell them about Sabalenka, or should we hold off on that?
Stop it. Don't even fuck with me.
She's still in.
That's fucked up.
All right.
That's an inside baseball joke because the last time we did this, I chose Sabalenka to win Wimbledon, and then she pulled out of the draw like 4 hours later.
Yeah. Let's not put that energy in the air.
And we had this conversation. It's like, I guess we have to put the show on air because it's edited and we can, whatever. Anyway, so that's it. So are we doing...
Well, real quick, you had called me and John, we wanted to open this up for a conversation.
Yeah.
Do we want to only pick to the quarterfinals and leave semis? And
so here's my thought. Like, I understand, like, I have this insecurity about like picking wrong when I'm not supposed to, but also there is value in watching players for like 10 or 11 days. So question is, and feel free to comment once you listen to this. I don't know what decision we're going to make as we're talking through it in real time. But if you have a preference, please write to us, follow us wherever. Do we pick all the way through, or do we pick to like the semis and then actually have 10 days and 5 matches of performances to make a better choice for the winner? Or are we all about entertainment and we're just going to throw shit against the wall and hope it sticks? I'm happy. I'll do
remember what we said about remember what we said about replay? If you have the tools available to optimize performance, why wouldn't you use those?
Yeah, I know, but that's also not like I wouldn't say that us getting our draw show predictions right is the same as the consequence as like trying to win a Masters 1000. But yeah, okay, right. I get it.
After we take a blowtorch, after we blowtorch our draws, I'm all in favor of a redo. But you guys make the call.
Live blowtorching show. Okay, so I'm fine with whatever. Just what like gut feeling.
I vote through, but we don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing quarters to the championship. I vote get it through, but knowing that we're going to do a redraw.
So we're running through the finish line on this show.
Because we do get a lot of comments of people wanting a little bit more detail on the first couple rounds. You know,
okay.
So I think ultimately it'd be better to blow through like quarters to championship, but maybe spend a little bit more time on the earlies.
So basically, okay, what do you think, JW?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
We're running
I think that's a good idea.
All right, so blowtorch special next week. Great. But what I will say is that we're gonna do it. Like we're gonna be very conscious. Like this is fun, seeing the matchups for the first time. Inevitably, when we've done these, there's like, oh no, what? Zverev, Nadal. So there will be some of those. It will be fun, but I do want to reserve the right to actually talk about it seriously from like quarters on once we get there next week. And so I guess what we're doing is just adding workload to all of us. And as long as we're fine with that, I need to have that like thing where I can actually get through the quarters.
We got to give the internet their material to roast you when you pick Sabalenka to win.
That's fair. Okay, I like that. That's fair. But I just want to make sure that no one's going to be, oh shit, we have to go in and do a show. The quarters, like
when have we ever done that?
Okay, that's fair. Apparently you've done it before because I had a voice for it. Okay, what are we doing first? Women's or men's draw?
Let's go women's.
Women's. Okay, so I'll show you. We're shooting this Thursday. This draw has been out for a couple hours. Women's draw, we're going to go with that first. I have not seen the men's draw. It is face down in front of me. I will not look at it. All right, women's draw. I know the top name before looking is obviously going to be Iga Swiatek. Oh, she plays Debbie qualifier. Pain.
Yep. I thought she got Donna qualifier, actually.
Donna qualifier, got it. Right. Okay, so just looking through quickly, I don't, like, one of the things is, like, you have to have a combination of weapons and form, right? To beat Swiatek. Swiatek rarely loses to someone who just puts a lot of balls in the court, right? She rarely loses to someone where she can get into extended rally. She rarely loses to someone if she can get kind of that front foot forward and kind of smother you with aggression. And first seed, Pavlyuchenkova, really good player, but I don't see a problem for Iga through to round 4. So I'm going to go Swiatek through to the round of 16. No. Sorry. To the third round. Excuse me. Yeah, because okay. So I see this is a big one. First, is Mira Andreeva, and I talked about her a couple days ago, or actually yesterday on her show. Love her game. Just took Swiatek deep at Cincinnati, and the thing I liked about Andreeva was going into this Swiatek match. She's like, I have all the respect in the world for her, and also she's a human with emotions and off days, and she's not immune to everything that we deal with as tennis players, which, at 17, 18 years old, I thought was pretty wise. She's in form. She has played well. Osorio, Ashley Kruger, Buskova, Samsonova. I like Andreeva through to round 3. And I think we have our first Friday or Saturday night match, maybe Friday night special, depending on when they draw out. But Andreeva and Swiatek feels like a night match in the third round to me. Sorry, are they in the fourth round? Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I've read a draw exactly 4 times before, apparently. Round 4. Sorry, excuse me. Do you have a pen? The reason I can't keep it is because it keeps going out. Thank you. All right, Andreeva, I'm not going to pick that match yet because I actually want to think about it for a second. Moving on, Danielle Collins. It hasn't been talked about enough, this storyline, that this is actually her last Grand Slam, and she's been, one of the best hardcourt players on earth this year. Caroline Dolehide, very good player. Ball flight's a little loopier, a little heavier. I just feel like Danielle Collins is going to be able to get inside of the court. Butska, Sarah Arani, who, by the way, is still around, still playing main draw singles and winning doubles tournaments. Pretty impressive.
Gold medals.
Gold medals, exactly. Ooh. This is a good one. Collins and Schneider, third round. That's a tough one.
Ooh. Schneider, look at Schneider's. He's a top 20 player. She was
Schneider and
North Carolina State tennis 18 months ago.
I know, and she's got that lefty, she can play different styles. That's a hard one. I need to think about that one too. I'm stuck at Collins and Schneider. We'll come back to it. Katie Bolter, qualifier. Bolter has had a great year. Maybe hasn't been playing as well of late. Oh, Raducanu, Sophia Kenin.
Oh. Couple of major winners.
Battle of major winners who you just don't know what you're going to get. Raducanu, we don't know. I loved what she was building through Washington. And then she decided that, she wasn't going to play qualies in any of the tournaments, which is even stranger when you see someone like Naomi Osaka, put pride on the side and go play qualies in Cincinnati. I think those of us questioning that decision, maybe felt validated once we see someone like in Osaka go play qualifying. So we don't know. I loved what Raducanu was building at Wimbledon. I love the continuation of that into Washington. I think I'm gonna go Raducanu.
Ooh.
but I don't feel confident in any of it. Oh, Raducanu, Pegula second round.
But look who looms in the next match.
Oh my!
Isn't it weird that Raducanu is now so averse to playing qualifiers, and the one breakthrough tournament of her career came when she got all that momentum after having qualified?
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, like I'd want to go. I say this, and we'll never know the truth. You can only trust what I'm telling you, which apparently is questionable on Twitter sometimes. But I don't know that I would have ever had an ego about going and playing qualies if I had to. If anything, I would have welcomed the chance to get some reps in where I didn't have to be near perfect to win. And I don't know, but that's so a song for another day. It's also interesting that you're looking at this second round section, 2 major winners to play the highest seeded person in that bracket, second round, who hasn't been past a Grand Slam quarterfinal. Raducanu, Pegula.
I got bad news and bad news.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Pegula. She's just been playing great. Obviously, winning in Canada, finaling in Cincinnati. I'm going to get over my Wimbledon scar tissue pick where I picked her to go really far and it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to. I'm going to have Pegula in round 4.
Over Bolter.
Over Bolter. I don't think that section is like really strong. I don't know who the qualifier is, but sure.
You want some random trivia?
Sure.
Jessica Bouzas Monero has the all-time greatest tattoo in tennis. It's basically SHHH on her index finger. So when she gets heckled, she can just go like this.
Are you serious?
That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
And they
trivia, man. All right.
And they say this show is for tennis nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I like that a lot.
And it's also like, you kind of know your brand. Like hey, listen, I'm the person that gets booed. Anyways, that's a nice little fun fact. Rybakina, Caroline Garcia. All right, I know what I'm doing.
Who do we? Wait. Slow down. Who do you like in the Caroline match? Maybe.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at. I'm going Wozniacki.
Right.
She carried me to a loss on Arthur Ashe Stadium this week. I'm going Wozniacki, Rybakina in the third round. And then Yeah, I'm doing that. Okay, so the next one's interesting. Haddad Maya, a venison who just
in Cleveland today.
She's
good. That Armenian now, have you know?
Yeah, she just
no longer Russian.
She just switched. Yeah, she just switched citizenships from Russia to Armenia. Sorribes Tormo Noel. All right, I like Haddad Maya going through, but who knows? So this is an interesting one, like the Kalinskaya of things, without turning this into like a gossip rag. Seriously, like, I wouldn't mention it unless it like actually there was like an effect to it. But like if you're dating someone and your significant other who you care about and are with goes through the biggest like press debacle. So Kalinskaya is dating Jannik Sinner. Does that have any effect on you? A little?
Wait. All right. First of all, I'm not sure if we're going down the gossip rabbit hole. I think there's some diverging opinions about whether this is still an active relationship, but I don't know.
Is that right?
And I don't care. But wait, didn't we have this exact conversation at Wimbledon? And I vaguely recall being laughed out of the cubicle for making a similar.
Wait, I'm sorry. I
think there's something here.
I'm sorry.
Something here.
Did Sinner announce that he tested positive twice before Wimbledon 2? Did I miss that storyline?
We had a premise that the off-court fate of your significant other, whether it's injury or illness, might affect the other player.
I don't know.
JW. Like, listen,
right. We literally had this conversation.
No, but
the
context, it matters what the thing is. If it's like the number one story on earth.
All right. The premise was that the off-court prevails of your significant other, and the scheduling may affect you. All right.
The scheduling versus a doping controversy.
I mean, I see both sides, right? But I think being asked about your significant other, potentially committing doping issues, and then also dealing with the other players analyzing it, I think is bigger than what we were talking about in women's
scheduling.
I try to stay out of the gossip lane, but can we Google this? Are we sure there's still a couple? I'm not sure that.
I don't know. Let me send
let's move on.
Techie Sean's on.
Let me send a quick note to our research department. Techie Sean, can you look up if Kalinskaya and Sinner are still dating?
He's like 25. He knows where to find the answer.
Okay. Is he on TikTok right now?
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's actually what he does. You can't see him behind the curtain. He just does TikTok dances the whole time.
All right, Kalinskaya. So I don't like. There's a big story. Right. Listen, we won't go there. I'm taking Kalinskaya to round 4, and Rybakina. This is the first one. I'm going straight through the quarters. I'm going Rybakina quarters. Objections?
Rybakina has turned into such a mystery who can either win tournaments and, your WTA. I think she's the 8th leader in all of tennis, male and female.
Is that right?
And she can ride that serve. But yeah, she also, she lost to Leylah Fernandez. She has these mid-tournament injuries and illnesses. Mm-hmm. She's really become quite a mysterious player. So if fully healthy, I like her pick, but she also could, lose to your sleeper Mertens, and it wouldn't be surprising.
Who do you want to pick against the least in this quarter?
Seriously?
No.
When people show you who they are, believe them. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Here it comes.
Mira Andreeva, man.
Wait a minute. You're going to Andreeva over Swiatek? How do we get back to Andreeva?
You said pick player in this quarter.
No. Sorry, the Rybakina.
Oh, my bad.
The Rybakina.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I think Rybakina. I think you're right.
So you basically disagreed with my pick and then chose it.
All right.
Oh gosh,
the next wrong quarter. All right.
Ostapenko, Osaka.
What do you got? Woo! There we go. It's not quite Rafa Zverev, but that's about as good as it gets, huh?
That ball's going to get hit. I'll tell you that. There's not going to be a lot of subtlety in that one. We're not going to get we're not going to get the flowing slices and the angles and the change of pace. That's not if your team nuanced stylistically, this one ain't for you. Listen, Osaka obviously is the name value, and she's won this tournament. Has won 4 majors, and also I tend to put a premium on form coming in, and I feel like Osaka, and she said this much in Cincinnati, is kind of searching for it, and she kind of made reference to, I enjoy that process more than I used to, and there's a certain beauty in it. All that being said, I think I'm going Ostapenko in that one. What do you think, JW? Why am I wrong?
You're wrong because Naomi Osaka is Naomi. No, I wish I could argue this more forcefully. I have so much respect for Naomi Osaka, what she's gone through. I mean, clearly this is not how she would have scripted things, but she's playing a lot of tennis. She's confronting her shortcomings. And, I can't get that match at Roland Garros out of my head when that was just beautiful tennis for about an hour and came within a point of beating Iga. And you said, oh my gosh, if she's coming this close on clay, just wait till hard courts roll around. It just hasn't happened, but I still feel like it's going to. Maybe not even this year, but she's just too good a ball striker and has too much history to just sort of be in this range of sort of 40 to 60 for much longer. If I had to bet, which I don't bet, but if I had to pick, I'd probably agree with you, Ostapenko. But part of this is colored by how much I respect what Naomi Osaka is going through and how she's confronting it. But the results just haven't been there. And some players snap their fingers and presto, other players need to build up. And it's strange to bet against a 2-time champion who's only in her mid-20s in the first round of a major, but I think I'm with you on Ostapenko.
Yeah, listen, I think it would be more exciting for the tournament if Osaka all of a sudden, gets all the dust off of the comeback and makes a run to the finals. It would be amazing. It wouldn't shock me. I've been on record saying I think she will win and win big again. Also, I don't think she's favored in this particular matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if she won. I don't think anyone would be. But you gotta choose, and that is what it is. I'm going Leylah Fernandez, Ostapenko, 3rd round, And then I'm going upset special. I'm going Layla to round 4. You going Penko to round 4?
To round 4. No, but I would say Muhova, who, keep in mind, remember when the fan glued themselves to their seats last year when Coco played in the semifinals?
Yes.
Her opponent in that match, Carolina Muhova, who's had terrible luck with injuries, but she's so athletic and such a nice player. I wouldn't overlook her. No, I think Layla is a player to watch. And if Layla Fernandez, who's already beaten Rybakina, that was last week in Cincinnati, already beaten her on hard courts, that's the highest seed in her quadrant. I think Layla Fernandez, who, bear in mind, came within 2 sets of winning this tournament 3 years ago, I think Layla Fernandez could realistically go all the way to the semis.
Oh, wow. Big call. I kind of expected on the tail end, Layla had some good results at the end of last year. I like that she's kind of reestablished herself in this kind of top 30 role, working back towards, maybe makes it around the top 15 by the end of the year. And I know we don't get super excited about anything until someone's, top 10 or top 5, but credit to her and her team for kind of plugging away and getting back. I like her in the 4th round. Next section, easy for me to say. I like Putintseva right now. Pauli. Ooh, there's some popcorn matches.
Ooh, how about that?
There are some popcorn matches.
You want to hear a crazy one on that Paulini? You want to hear a crazy one?
So Pauli, what we're referring to when making the noises is Andreescu and Paulini. First round on the bottom line of the top half.
For the 3rd straight major. They played at Roland Garros, went 3 sets, and they played at Wimbledon, and Paulini won in 2 sets. But not often do you find 2 players playing each other in 3 consecutive majors.
Yeah, I don't think I had that one. I don't think I had that one. Okay. Who do you like in that section, JW?
I got 2 crazy picks, but in this section, I kind of am on the Layla Fernandez. Putintseva, we should point out, has beaten both Iga and Coco Gauff this summer.
Yep.
That's that bodes pretty well. But I like Layla Fernandez. I don't quite trust Rybakina, and I'm not sure what Ostapenko, Osaka, whoever wins that is still it's pretty exhausting first rounder. I don't know. I've got some Layla Fernandez. For the 5'6" lefty is not necessarily. I've got Layla Fernandez into the semis. Call me crazy.
Okay. But can you because we were just talking about it, can you tell me about Andreescu and Paulini? Who do you like moving on? I'm assuming whoever you take there is going to be in the 3rd round against Putintseva?
I agree. Sorry. You got to go with current form. I mean, obviously, Andreescu 5 years ago walked away with a title, but she's just had it's a little like Osaka. You admire the persistence, but the results just haven't been there. Again, I mean, these 2 played at Roland Garros, at Wimbledon, and now they're meeting for a 3rd time at the 3rd straight major, and I'm not sure the result is going to be any different.
Okay, so you got Paulini, and then Putintseva, Paulini. You have Paulini or Putintseva in round 3?
I think actually Putintseva.
Okay,
Putintseva.
Okay, so Putintseva losing to Layla, Layla beating Rybakina. Yeah. Layla into the semifinal. He just jumped ahead. I'm going to come back to that, but Paulini is just like I gotta sure. Man, okay. All right, we'll come back and I will work my way to the semis on that top half. On the bottom half, Krejcikova against Debbie qualifier, Badosa. Interesting. Krejcikova. Oh, Taylor Townsend's in there too. She's playing great. She was another one that I said you don't want to see in the first couple of rounds. Okay, Krejcikova, BK into round 3. Badosa, Taylor Townsend, John Wertheim.
I think that's hard overhead. I think Paula Badosa maybe wasn't the 2nd best player in the world when she was ranked number 2, but she's also way better than her ranking has suggested recently. Yes. And she has the title in DC. It's a tough draw for Taylor Townsend because I think she could do a lot of damage, but I'm not sure. I think I got to go with Badosa to get through that one. That's a tough 2nd round match.
This is probably bad. I just value current form so much. especially with players who have had an extended run up, which are few and far between. With the Olympics being this summer, I'm going Badosa in round 4, and I have like this weird thing where I need to apologize to Krejcikova because I need to give the proper respect for what she's just accomplished and the player that she is. I am going to go Badosa into round 4. Next section, Azarenka. Do you like Krejcikova, Badosa?
Ooh. I think I got to go with Krejcikova in that one. I just think the winner of the previous major's got to come with some weight.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't even like my own picks. Okay. Azarenka in the section with Sakari. And then,
I'm going to do a 15-second applause for Victoria Azarenka, who is still a top 20 seed, closer to age 40 than she is to age 30.
Absurd. She's so good. She's
three-time finalist.
She's so tough. She's just so tough. She just gets into every match. We're going to have 2 former champions in the second round. God, there are a lot of good matchups on the women's side, aren't there? Like one of the good things about like a tour being super deep as far as ability is you get these popcorn matches. I mean, Azarenka and Stevens second round. Like that feels like a night match, Louis Armstrong-ish. I mean, that's a big matchup. Who do you like there, JW?
I think Azarenka. I'm a big fan of Sloane's personally, but I mean, she's not even in the top 50 anymore. I mean, just the wheels have kind of come off the tennis a little bit. Yeah,
and Clara Burrell beat Jess Pegula in Australia, and that's who Sloane plays first round in at the U.S. Open. So that's something to watch out for as well. I like Azarenka into round 3. Ooh, look at this next section. Sakari. Is Sakari getting to round 3?
Ooh. That's asking a lot. I'm going to play the percentages and say no.
I'm going to go with this is easy for me. This is obvious, JW. This is so obvious. So obvious.
What do you got?
I have Wong in round 3 against Azarenka.
Okay.
And and that makes total sense because there are 2 Wongs at line 78 and 79. So I have double the chance if I just write Wong in. So I have Wong losing to Azarenka and Azarenka going to round 4. I have Badosa, Azarenka. I'm going to go Badosa. I just have like I think she just found form. It's kind of all upside. There's something about like a comeback trail where like the wind's behind you. She's not dealing with like expectation set that she did when she was 2 in the world. I have Badosa in the quarters. I'm guessing you're going to go Azarenka to the quarters? Oh, no, you had Krejcikova. Yeah. All right, Krejcikova, JW. All right. Next section. Emma Navarro, Blinkova, not easy. Bodon, and Kostiuk. I like Kostiuk too. I'm going Emma Navarro through to round 4. Any objections to that, John Wertheim?
Marta Kostyuk, we have a soft spot for all the Ukrainian players, but I don't think she beats Emma Navarro. I think I'm with you. I think you're right. Look, back-to-back Ukrainians, but no, Emma Navarro moves on. You're right.
Gosh, it's weird when you play these out and you don't just pick semifinalists and finalists, but you actually go through match by match, and then you're stunned by what you've done.
Right.
It's insane. Okay, so this next one, I don't like doing it. All cards on the table. I have a bias towards Coco, but I still have to try to be objective. I like Svitolina to round 3. I like Coco to round 3. I think I like Svitolina to round 4.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Man. I was going to say, I think, we all know Coco's had her struggles lately, but she sure can't complain about that draw.
No, I mean, and then it's like Navarre. I mean, I don't be concerned
with the Wimbledon rematch.
I'd love to be wrong. I value current form, and I think Coco is searching. She would probably tell you she's searching. I'm sure. I haven't talked to Brad in a month, but I got to think they know that. I don't know that I can put Coco through to the quarters.
When Sean and I were walking around, we saw Coco and Billie Jean like up on stage, and I know a little bit of it's a canned answer, but I was shocked at like kind of the answer she gave about going into this feeling like, you know what, I just want to be like happy and satisfied. Like, you know, I won last year and I want to just enjoy myself. And like, you know, it's not really something you like hear from. I just thought it was a interesting answer. But maybe it's a reset, right? Maybe it's a mental reset.
Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is that it was easy to choose her last year because wins were behind her. She was playing great. She just hasn't found it. She's and it's all. And when I say this, it's the great players, which I consider Coco a great player. Okay, she is in that category where she can play. Like she would probably tell you she's had an average year and she's seeded 3 at the U.S. Open, right? Like she's that caliber talent player, et cetera, et cetera. And also, you know, great players, they go through stages where they're searching for it. And, you know, when she is searching for it specifically, the how you approach going after her game is pretty straightforward if she's not, you know, on. So I don't think she's going to make the quarters. I'm going Navarro through in that quarter. John Wertheim, you have Coco through to that quarter?
I do. Navarro, I have a lot of, it's been a great year. She's won a lot of matches. She's never won a match at the U.S. Open. And I mean, it is interesting. That's, you know, we remember the Navarro-Coco match from Wimbledon. We might well get a rematch of that if seeds hold. But this is an interesting quarter, huh?
It is. Okay, so Badosa Navarro, we'll go back to that. Oh my gosh, there's so many big matches first. Queen Wen and Anisimova. God, there are a lot of good matches on the women's side. Man, it's like you couldn't put That's the big. That's opening night on Ash. By the way, I'm just telling you that right now. Yep. Queen Wen and Anisimova. That has to be the first women's night match or second one, depending on if they play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is. That's a massive match. Who are you choosing there?
My audio's not so good here. So my audio's not so good, but is that the upset alarm I'm hearing?
I don't know yet. I was hoping
upset bells ringing.
I was hoping you were going to tell us about someone's random tattoos so I could buy time to think about it.
I'm going to say I'm picking upset here.
You're going Anisimova.
Now in the top 50, the mojo's back. I like Anisimova to win this match, guys.
Okay, so I'm looking through the rest of that section. If you're taking her to win that match, then you're taking her through to the fourth round.
Since you put it that way, yes.
Right? I mean, I'm just looking like I don't know who's I don't know who I'm going to choose with Queen Wen and Anisimova, but I know whoever I do choose, I'm going to put in round 4. I'll tell you. Yeah,
those are the two best. Those are the two best players in that pocket. So whoever wins that match, it's a brutal first rounder, but whoever wins it is got some nice runway ahead.
Anisimova was my number 1 sleeper pick, and not really sleeper because she's been in form. But I think I'm gonna go. I'm going Queen Wen through to round 4.
You go back on your sleeper pick, huh?
No, it's just. But listen, I could have.
Matchup.
No, it's not even matchup. It's just my sleeper I haven't looked at the men's draw yet. My sleeper on the men's side is Berrettini, but I'm not going to pick him over Novak just because he's my sleeper pick. So, sorry, I know what I said, but I'm not going to if they play this match 10 times, I think I like Queen Wen 6 of them.
Can't wait for you to see the men's draw then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Are there some good ones? Are there some good ones? Yes, I love it. I love tennis. All right. That's great. Okay. Vekic. Ooh, Vekic. Ooh. Kasatkina. All right. I'm looking through Vekic qualifier, Minen Fresh, Peyton Stearns. I love Peyton Stearns. Christian. Vekic is round 4 for me.
Yep.
You like that?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, Yep, it's been a nice summer for Donna Vekic.
Okay. Ooh, Maddie Keys got a rough draw too. She was she's a sleeper pick too. Siniakova Keys first round.
That's rough, huh?
That's a tough one. And Maddie got hurt at Wimbledon. Has she played since? She hasn't played since, has she?
What's their head to head?
Let's call the research department.
Let's see their head-to-head.
Man. This one
1-0 head-to-head for Madison. That doesn't really tell us much.
I mean, I know what I'm doing right now. I'm just
5 years ago.
It's amazing when you haven't filled out even the matchups and you already have your semifinalists from that half or that quarter. I've literally had the first one I wrote in was that quarter. Okay.
Yeah. Maddie Keys played one match and didn't get through it in Canada.
I love Maddie. Also, that injury was like rough at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
She is someone who plays well when she has matches behind her. To be dangerous, I don't like doing it because I love Maddie, but here we are. Siniakova. I mean, I think I'm going to put Siniakova into the fourth round just because, like, I'm pretty sure she's going to be able to walk by week 2 or serve. I don't know what to do with this section. This is not a good one. And I don't think it's going to matter.
I was going to say,
because my uber favorite for the tournament, probably like my most confident. I'll say this, but hopefully she doesn't pull out 3 hours after we film this. I have Sabalenka through to the final. We can go through that section, but I'm not going to. I'm going Sabalenka. Sabalenka over. I have Sabalenka over Navarro in the semis on the bottom half of the draw. I have Queen Wen or Vekic. That's a tough one. I'll go Vekic just because I'm going to hedge that bet on Anisimova.
Ooh.
In case Anisimova loses, then I have hedged it with the Vekic call to the quarters. Does that make sense? Okay. So
this is an Olympic. Just to be clear, this is the Olympic gold medal match being replayed, and you think there's a different winner?
Yes, but not because.
Okay.
So this is like a weird thing, and I know this is a little bit of word salad, but I think it has some value. I'm like Queen Wen has the toughest first round draw I think in the entire tournament. I'm choosing her to go to the fourth round, but I'm choosing Vekic to go to the quarters in case I get that first one wrong. I still have hope. I have
like a hedge fund,
kind of. Yeah, this is like this is what we do. This is why no other analysts do a live draw show, because you end up doing stupid shit like I just did. I like Sabalenka through on the bottom half. Let's go and fill in the top half. I love Andreeva. I want to make this call, and I think you slipped and told us your pick earlier.
Come on.
I'm going Iga through to the quarters. I think you're ready. Are you? Do I hear the alarm?
You heard the alarm.
That's not like I was backing up like a dump truck.
Yeah, right.
You clearly spent some time in New York.
We need let me make a note.
Mira.
We need hype.
Except Mira Andreeva is not backing up. Mira Andreeva is charging forward.
Are you picking Andreeva to the quarters?
I am.
Ooh, I like that you did that because I wanted to, but I didn't. So here we are.
All right, so we need Colin Schneider.
All right. Well, I'm going to make this. I'm going to do my hedge again. I'm going old Hedgie Magoo. I'm going to pick Collins because I want her to come on the show more often when she's retired.
Agreed.
Great.
It's always a good reason. It's always a good reason to pick someone through in a draw. All right.
Yeah. Here we are. Pagula.
Yeah, she's got blisters and her arms falling off. But,
are you taking Andreeva?
She's a good guest.
Are you taking Andreeva over? Oh, sorry. Are you taking Pagula to the quarters? Or are you taking Colin Schneider to the quarters?
Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm picking Pagula to the quarters.
Okay.
And I think he meets her fate at the hands of a teenager.
You have Andreeva through to the semis.
She's really good.
I know.
She's smart. She hits a bigger ball than people think.
I know. I'm not mad at you. I'm like jealous that you actually have the satchel to do it.
This level of courage. All right.
I'm kind of digging in on what I messed up at Wimbledon. Like, have you noticed that I'm going to put Pagula through to the semis, and I also have Sabalenka still in the draw?
I think Pagula for you, it's been like a major. You've picked her. She dropped out early. You picked against her. She went.
Yeah.
This is going to be the rubber.
I just know, I just know I was with, talked with her a bunch when, at the beginning of the year, she was trying to figure out some coaching stuff and say, and I just really believe in her. I think she's going to make a run past the quarters of a slam. She's too good of a player not to. So maybe this is heart over brain, but the brain is also telling me that she had the best post-Wimbledon hardcourt run of anyone on earth. Men or women, by the way. So Pegula through to the semifinals for me. So neither one of us took the number one player in the world to the semifinals.
First one. Good.
On the women's side.
You look at her form off play. Look at what she has done. We're talking about Iga, obviously. I mean, look at what Iga's done.
Yeah.
Whether it was back on the clay of the Olympics, whether it was at Wimbledon, whether it was losing handily. I mean, that match against Sabalenka was deceptively close, and it was 6-3, 6-3. It could have been a lot worse. Mm-hmm. She is not coming in here playing and swaggering like a number one player.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so you have, this is amazing, John Wertheim, what you've done. You've got yourself in knots right now. Andreeva?
I was going to say, what am I very...
So this is honestly this is a fun thing. You should sit around with your friends and go through a draw match by match, because then the results are completely different than me going, I don't know, like Rybakina Sabalenka, which sounds fine on its surface, right? But then you kind of get yourself into a little bit of a spot. And so... John Wertheim, are you taking Andreeva or Leylah Fernandez to the finals? Because that's who you have left.
What have I done with myself? I feel like the new bull here. What am I? Okay, I feel like
inside joke.
What have I done here?
Oh no!
Should I tell? I can't tell that story. Too far.
No.
Damn it, guys!
I'm telling you, I have to get permission.
They're holding me back from telling you the funniest story that you've ever heard right now. It's too far.
We can't have HR called twice in one episode.
It's too far. Twice in one episode. Okay.
And you don't know because we edited it.
No, you didn't.
What do you mean?
It's going to be the longest show ever because I'm just going to keep saying it. How much can you edit? All right. Andreeva, Leylah Fernandez, John Wertheim. What are you doing?
I have Mira Andreeva into the final of the 2024 U.S. Open.
This is going to be so cool if you're right. I have Pegula.
All right.
Pegula over Rybakina into the final, and then I can't do it there. So I think this was my final at Wimbledon, maybe. Sabalenka. Hopefully one of the two makes it past the second round, because I had one between my two finalists at Wimbledon. I had them win one match between them. Obviously Sabalenka wasn't in the tournament. Are you taking Andreeva to win the tournament, John?
No, come on.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Only 6 rounds. I only ever winning 12 sets, not 14. I think
who can do abs in 6 minutes?
Exactly.
All right, so you have Sabalenka over Mira Andreeva in the final. Sabalenka winner.
Yeah.
So we haven't agreed on much, but we both agree on Sabalenka winning this tournament. I have her over Jess Pegula. That is a wrap on the women's draw. I just hope there's not as much carnage as there was for us at Wimbledon. Because that was bad. That was really bad.
It's going to be great.
I don't know if it will be.
Bad for everyone, though.
When 30 women can win the tournament, it's really hard to choose 2. Like, it just is.
This is exciting.
This is okay. Men's draw.
Let's go to break first.
We'll be right back on Served. Producer Mike, I am telling you, our live shows have been a blast. Can't wait for the next one, but I'm seriously missing my Brooklinen percale sheets, man. I mean, you know that feeling when you get to crash after a long day? Those sheets are just like sliding into your favorite crisp button-down, cool, comfy. Oh, they're just perfect.
I mean, guys, he seriously has not stopped talking about these sheets.
Why would I stop talking about them? Seriously, it's not just the sheets. It's like it's like the whole setup. Like the hardcore bundle comes with everything, like a fitted sheet, a flat sheet, a duvet cover, 4 pillowcases. It's like they know I'm a pillow hog. I'm just saying, it's like Brooklinen designed this bundle just for me.
So do you want us to cancel our U.S. Open plans in New York? You want us to cancel all the New York plans?
That's not realistic. As tempting as that is, let's stick it out. But Chuckers, I'm telling you, Brooklinen is dialed. They've got 20 plus colors and patterns, so you can mix and match to your heart's content.
Wait, is that what you were doing on your phone earlier? I thought you were looking at scores. Were you?
No. Never. Just lining up another hardcore bundle. And you should too, Mike. Either visit in-store or online at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com and get 15% off your first order today. Do it. Welcome back to Served, presented by Chase. Just went through the women's draw. Quick recap. John Wertheim has Sabalenka over Mira Andreeva. She will play Grand Slam finals. Is this the moment where she plays her first Grand Slam final? We shall see. I have Sabalenka over Jess Pegula. I am trying to win back my tortured Wimbledon predictions on the women's side with that final. We will see. Let's get on to the men's side. So I am flipping it over for the first time. Jannik Sinner, man, we haven't heard much about him going into this tournament, have we?
Yeah. What's he been up to this week?
Ooh, under the radar, right? Didn't I get won Cincinnati?
Yeah. What was he up to before that?
Quiet. Well, he lost in the quarters to Rublev in Canada, but okay.
He lost to Rublev, but he played twice in one day. All right, let's.
Okay, so let's do this. Sinner, Mackey, love Mackey. I think Sinner's going to win. Alex Mickelson, I also like Alex Mickelson. Sinner's going to win. Okay, I have Sinner through to the fourth round. Any objections to that? Stan Wawrinka, wild card, former champion, but Sinner through to the fourth round. Are we any objections? Do we think the weight of the week is going to weigh on him heavily enough to not have him in the fourth round?
No, but it will be a bigger story than his tennis. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to knock him out of the tournament, but I think it will define his week one.
Yeah, well, what I think it does is that's a good point, but what I think it does is I think there's a buildup of everything, right? Like if you stay on the court and you have 2 5-setters in the first week, you pay that bill at some point. Like you need to get off the court in straight sets at some point to give yourself that recovery time. All of the questions asked, so you will see this after Sinner has given his press conference. I think he's scheduled for Friday, so we will see what he says, but just having to answer, and whatever questions he answers on Friday, sure as shit, as soon as he comes off the court after his first match, he's going to be asked all those questions again. It's going to be as if no one heard his answer the first time, and rightfully so. I mean, this is a big story. Mistakes were made, so you got to kind of have to live with your reality and kind of sit in it. For him, I thought, I don't know that I would have been offended by a small suspension. Even if, the story is corroborated and at least makes sense as far as I understand what I've been told. I'm obviously not an expert in the complete testing process now and/or the drug and how it can kind of stick around and all of those things. But I do think there is a buildup effect for Sinner. I just don't think it's going to affect him before round 4.
Research.
Can we just 30-second riff here?
Yeah.
We're going to hear a lot about, he's, mark my words, on the commentary, they're going to say, now he's going to have toughest battle of the day. He's got to, he's got to confront the media corps. The press is going to badger him. Wouldn't it be weird if there were press conference and he wasn't asked about it? I mean, isn't it kind of appropriate and kind of expected that he would have to answer some questions? It doesnn't mean he's going to be given unfair questions. It doesn't mean harass. But wait till you see the buildup. It's going to say, now he goes into the press room and the jackals are going to try to. I mean, it would be really odd if a player had this set of circumstances and the questions were about his break points converted. Like, you kind of want him to. Oh,
sure.
Have this.
Sure.
Okay. I don't mean you personally.
No,
I just mean
I mean, if you guys are listening to the show, I'm like, I can't shake like my pro player bias most of the time, right? Like that's where I live. Okay, just I think John and I, it's like we kind of I'm fascinated by his side. I think we're on different sides of the coin, but we find a lot of middle ground often, right? But absolutely, like there's no issue with him having to deal with the reality of the situation. He didn't get suspended, so that anything past that is a win. Like very, very frankly, like that's a huge win, right? He's still number 1 in the world. They didn't take, like, if they would have taken the points away and retroactively, Novak would have had another week at number 1. There's a lot of layers to this whole thing. If you tell Sinner that, okay, you're not suspended, you pay a fine, maybe some points, and then you have to deal with the fallout publicly. He's going, great, no suspension. Okay, best case scenario. So you have to listen. I'm like pro player. I'm on the player side. It's my lived reality. And also, if I was in that press conference and no one asked it, I think I would have to ask it. Like you'll never see me ask a question in a press conference in the entirety of Earth. But like, yeah, I mean, we do have to deal with reality, regardless of what our opinion is on the side. If you're I don't think it's a 2-year thing, like some people have said. I think that's wacky. But if it was a 3-month thing, I would feel kind of the same. Like I'm like, I get it. Like I understand that. Nope. Like I get it. It sucks for him. I don't know that there was an intent behind it. I'll never know for sure, but that's just my feeling. But also, like, their mistakes were made by his team. He's the CEO of his team. He's going to have to deal with it. Like, he has to deal with it. Anyways, long way of saying Sinner in round 4. Arthur Feast and Lerner Tien. That's fun. Tien's been playing well. Young American lefty. Lost to Francis Tiafoe. Has played in this main draw before. I think he won Kalamazoo last year, and so he got direct entry and then had to play Francis. I'm not going to pick him over Fees. Yeah, give me something.
You want a trivia question?
Sure.
What player has won the most tournaments in what male player has won the most pro tournaments this year?
What male player?
Think Carlos Alcaraz, but
no.
Lerner Tien has won 5. I mean, these are not tour level. This guy, I mean, all right, but this guy's won a lot.
It's like saying
matches,
who's leading pro baseball in homers, and then like picking someone from the Birmingham
my
Barons.
Point
Stop. Get out of here.
My point is he's won a lot of matches.
Yes.
He's a fun player to watch. He's not a big kid. He's a lefty. He's a teenager still. He's actually younger than his opponent, who is seeded Arthur Feast. I don't think he's going to win that match, but props to Lerner Tien. That's my roundabout way of saying let's give this kid some credit for winning a lot of matches and a lot of tournaments this year.
He's earned his way.
Keep an eye on him.
He's earned his way. Some wild cards you look at and it's like, man, that was okay. That's a gift. Listen, you don't really earn a wild card because like the only way you earn direct entry is to be top 104 and get in. But as far as earning wild cards go, you can make the argument for him very, very easily. He has done a great job in the last year, going from someone who you felt like it was a complete reach, winning juniors, and then you felt like he was playing over his level when he got in the U.S. Open last year. I don't think that's the case. Now, I don't think he's going to beat Arthur Feast. And then as we go through Max Purcell, Vukic, Sonego, Tommy Paul, I have Tommy Paul in the 4th round against Sinner, Chicken Dinner. How do we feel about that?
Me too.
Okay.
Yep, me too.
Next section, it looks like Tsitsipas and FAA. Tsitsipas, I like through to the 3rd round. Kokonaka's Korea. Mensik FAA
Wait.
What?
I think you got that. Doesn't Tsitsipas plays Kokonakis?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just reading I'm just reading the names through out loud. I think Tsitsipas gets through to the 3rd round.
Gotcha.
And then I think I'm going to take FAA. I'm taking FAA to round 4. Assuming no opponent shanks a volley into the ground to win a match.
Exactly. So we have replay, right?
By the way,
we learned that yesterday.
Sure as shit. Guess who I walked past right in the locker room this morning at like 7:15 a.m.
Who?
After I had said he definitely just buried a shank right into the ground all week.
Young Jack Draper.
Couldn't have been nicer. He's like, "Hey man, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. Okay."
The show wasn't released yet.
Yeah, right.
So I automatically go. He was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, definitely not a listener."
Yeah, exactly.
I have nothing against him personally. He did nothing wrong. He did not cheat. Right. He did not do anything wrong. And also, I would suspect he knew that he drilled it into the ground, which that's not his call to make.
It's not his job.
That's not his job. He has enough to do. So, anyways, moving on. Do you have FAA or Tsitsipas in round 4? If I'm not taking liberties with those two,
I have FAA, but I'm thinking Kokonakis may win this match. Tsitsipas is very up and down. Does not necessarily play well at the U.S. Open.
He doesn't.
I kind of like the other guy with the Greek surname to win that 1st round match.
Okay, I don't. But you can be. I guess it doesn't matter because we both have FAA going to round 4. I like Tsitsipas getting through just because. I just think he's more reliable and consistent, but we'll see. I mean, I don't hate the call. I think on any fast surface, I think he's at risk if someone has weapons, and Kokonaka certainly has weapons. Okay, next section. God, Chipoli's 31 in the world. Duckworth, Bergs, Kodov, Morozhin, Lajovic. Okay, you know how I said I was concerned? I was really concerned about Medvedev and his form coming in. He had lost 3 hardcore matches in a row for God knows how long. You want me to tell you how concerned I am about that?
Yeah, I'm winning the tournament.
I'm putting him through to the quarters.
Yep.
Is there anything you would like to talk about in that section of Medvedev, or I think he's just too good. And I think when someone is that good and that consistent, 3 out of 5 sets does them a favor. Like I'm not worried about him figuring out a way to get through a couple matches, and then I think it's normal for him. But I don't know. We'll see. I just think he's such a great player.
Yep. The finalist last year who beat Alcaraz in the semis, and of course won this event 3 years ago. I mean it's been a rough summer for him. The serve stats, I mean, his serve is like a work in regress. His serve is like gets worse month to month. But I like your point about best of 5 too. I think he's too good off the ground, and I have him through to the quarters.
Who do you have center? Tommy Paul in round 4.
Center.
Who do you have center Medvedev?
Again. Center to the semis.
I have Medvedev to the semis. This is where we talk about like the buildup. I think it's going to be a stressful 10, 11 days. And then you go up against Medvedev, who, if he gets to the quarters, right? Medvedev's going to be different in the quarters than he will be in round 1 when he's trying to find something. He will play his way into this event. If he gets to the quarters, he's going to be fine. Like it's like riding a bike for him. He finds that gear. It's comfortable. I don't know. I just think there's going to be build-up with center at some point. I think Medvedev is fresh, but for a different reason. He hasn't won any matches, which is rare to say about him on any surface, but especially hard court. I have Medvedev in the semis. All right, next section. Alcaraz qualifier, Shapovalov, Venizen, Schlupp, Diaz Acosta, and the aforementioned Jack Draper, who's tall, man. Walked past him today. He's 6'4". He feels like he's a tall 6'4". He's an imposing figure. Big dude. But big dude who I think is going to lose in the 3rd round to Chuckster. Any reason why Carlos Alcaraz isn't in round 4? John Wertheim, do you want to shock the world right now?
Well, he's not playing a 37-year-old, so that's a good sign because he's lost his last 2 matches to those guys. And keep in mind, Draper has beaten Carlos Alcaraz this summer. That was on grass. No, I think our 2022 champion is going to be just fine for the first week.
Yeah, I all joking aside, because I think this rules thing with Draper and FAA was like, whatever. It was a huge story, but I'm not mad at anyone. Like, I'm mad at the rule and the lack of common sense from the rules committee, but I generally like Jack Draper. I'm a fan of his game. I think he can do a lot to bother a lot of people. That lefty serve, he's pretty athletic. I think he's, where he's also quietly gone from someone who is 50, 60 in the world, who all we talked about was potential, to now I'm solidly in the top 30. I'm there a lot of weeks. I'm winning matches consistently. I think he's done a really nice job. I also think the extended format, he has been prone to cramping in longer formats. So for those reasons, I think it's a tough matchup. I think there are a lot of guys that Carlos Alcaraz would much rather play on a fast surface. But I'm not going to bet against Carlos Alcaraz 3 out of 5 sets in this matchup. So I had the Chuckster through to the 4th round, going down to the next section's fun. Tabilo, Goffin, Coric, Manarino. That could be a draw from like 2014 minus Tabilo. Fognini. I saw Fognini yesterday. He has like bleach blonde white hair. Just walking around, still just like not in a hurry to get anywhere. Like, I was behind him in the hallway. I'm like, fuck, I felt like I went in a time warp where I just wanted him to walk faster because I was behind him. So it could have been like 2009. Anyways, I had a good chat with Fabio. I've always gotten along with him. Fognini, Mahach, Mute, Korda. Mute is going to make that first round match against an American an absolute circus. I'll just tell you that right now. But also Korda, when he has time and can hit returns, he's going to square up a lot of returns. I had dinner before we went on this thing with that. One of my best friends and old coaches, Dean Goldfine, is kind of helping. He's kind of helped Sebastian for a while now. If Pops can't go, Dean hangs on, so he's gonna be with them. But had sat down and had a meal with Peter and Sebastian and Dean, and he's just Korda's so laid back. He was on at like 7, and at like 6:46, we're just sitting there talking. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go down. I'm on here." I'm like, "Well, you're playing the thing tonight?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, I don't know. I just like him. I think he's cool. I like it. He's kind of like, he's just cool. I like Korda through to round 4. No disrespect to Dabilo, I just think on this surface, it'll be very interesting. What are you thinking, John Wertheim?
I'm off the Chileans, man. They burned
Roland
me.
Garros ruined you.
Yeah, exactly. Tequila's good though. I think, I have Alcaraz. I'm looking at my draw. I have there's some sort of tricky matches in here. Manarino's really struggled. He's barely won matches, but I think like I have Alcaraz. I have Alcaraz Korda in the round of 16.
Same. Who do you like in that matchup? I mean, it's the one where like it wouldn't shock you. Korda plays great against the top players. He's beaten Medvedev at the Aussie Open, but also it's like you can think he's in with a shot and really like his. It wouldn't shock you, but like, are you going to choose him straight up against Alcaraz at a major? Like, not at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I love Sebi Korda.
I also he whatever we always say about Francis. There's sort of this transference of energy, and he's feeding off the crowd, and they're feeding off him, and that is not Korda vibes. So I can see people saying, "Well, it's an American. This could be a big match on Sunday, Labor Day at the U.S. Open." Sebastian Korda does not strike me as the kind of player who's really going to get amped playing in front of 25,000 American fans. So I would take that variable out of the equation. I just think. Honestly, I just think Alcaraz is too good. I mean, Korda's got a lot of game and a lot of athleticism, and there are flashes where he looks like this guy could win majors. But I just best of 5 against the Chuckster. I got to go Chuck here.
Yeah, but Chuckster hasn't really played well this summer though. He's kind of struggled in majors. Hasn't really figured it out. Hasn't played great. Struggled at Roland Garros when he was winning.
He's overhyped, don't you know? He's overhyped.
Yeah, played a average match against Novak to beat him 2-2 and 6 in the finals of Wimbledon.
Right.
Okay. So Carlos through the quarters. Next section, I have Demon and the Herklocker in the 4th round. Any objections to that? Apologies to Arnaldi, who I think actually that's an interesting one. That deserves a conversation. Arnaldi's done a great job, by the way. He was one. I remember watching him last year in Rome, and he was one of those guys who got a wild card who was 100. He wins matches all the time. Like he wins a lot of tennis matches.
He's good.
Who do you like through in the quarters in the Demon Hurkacz section? Hatchinoff still sneaky in there as well. He's been to the semis of the U.S. Open before.
I have a bad feeling about Demon. I mean that injury at Wimbledon, and he has not played a singles match since. That injury at Wimbledon was no joke, and his reaction suggested this was really serious. Best of 5 against Garone, who will make you hit a lot of balls. I have a bad feeling about that. I like Marcus Garone, but this is more a function of the Demon is at all compromised. This is his first singles match since Wimbledon. I think he played doubles at the Olympics, but barely could walk. I mean, bad vibes here, I got to say. And then, don't you feel like Hurkacz read about Novak's doctor healing that knee, and sort of Hurkacz's doctor said, "Hold my Polish beer."
Well, so I actually
this guy wrenched his knee and had the meniscus thing.
So you're literally saying the same things that Novak didn't take credit for, but I talked to Novak about his knee yesterday in the locker room, and I was just like, man, I'm telling you, like I was stunned about the recovery, and he's like, well, and he was like very pragmatic. He just said, I it's been done. He said Fritz did it. He goes, more recently, Hurkacz came back a lot quicker from a similar operation. And he's like, for me, it was like, it's kind of what we talked about. It's like the fitness won't be there. And, he was like, he was less impressed with himself than maybe we are. Credit to him, but he was very pragmatic about it, talked about it. And he mentioned Hurkacz as well, coming back from the same injury and actually playing pretty well in Canada, but he said the knee's great. He's still cautious about it, but not something he thinks about on every movement. But he kind of underplayed it a little bit to me. But anyways, I like Hurkacz through the quarters. I like the Chuckster through to the semis. Medvedev and Alcaraz. You go first.
I've got Sinner Alcaraz.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, I have Medvedev Alcaraz. You have Sinner Alcaraz. Go.
Yeah. No, I have Alcaraz beating Sinner. I won't spoil it, but I have Alcaraz winning this half of the draw.
I do too. I have Alcaraz over Medvedev in the semis. It's funny. It's like a lot less upsets on the men's side. A lot less upsides on the men's side. I feel like I don't know. It feels like like dissecting a women's draw right now is like the Wild West. And on the men's side, I feel like they're just more like consistently predictable players.
Well, let's get to the back half after this break.
Right.
And let's get to the back half after this break. Thanks for listening to Served, presented by Chase. You, Chase, the perfect match. Wherever you are in the game of life, Chase is here to support your goals, just like they have supported the U.S. Open for 43 years and counting. Find out how you can make more of your U.S. Open at chase.com/US Open. Welcome back to Serve, presented by Chase. Top half of the draw, we both have Alcaraz in the final. I have him beating Medvedev. Wertheim has him beating Sinner. So we both have the Chuckster in the final. We're really going out on a limb there, choosing the guy who's won 2 majors. This guy hasn't won. So I passed Alcaraz in the hallway, and by the way, he's like the nicest. Like his energy is like it's this big friendly energy all the time, and it was just so much fun. Like all these legends are in the same room, and it's just fun to like see how they all interact. And some know each other well, some don't. And so Alcaraz walks away and he says something, another thing. I'm like, and he said something to Caroline, like, oh, don't double fall. Something, just, gentle heckling before you go out and play the next. So I said, Caroline, don't listen to him. He hasn't won a major in weeks. And he looked back, he started laughing. I talked to Jay. I had a nice little conversation with Juan Carlos also, who basically was just like, this has been the most amazing summer ever. Like, I don't even know how to qualify it. Like, he's just like, but then so typical of Ferrero, he's like, but now we have to focus again. I'm like, okay. It was so great.
There goes the super ego.
He let himself laugh for about 4 seconds, and then he was like, but now we have to focus again. I was like, it was funny. He was more interested in talking about golf than winning 2 majors. Anyways. All right.
Wait, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question real quick. What did you notice physically about Carlos when you saw him? I'm just curious. If you had the same reaction that so many of us has.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's like big. I mean, he's like significantly big. But do you think, what were you going to say? Like I think he's taller than he gets represented. He gets presented as like a small dude, but like he's not tall, but I think he's like kind of physical.
Oh wait, I was going to say the opposite.
Oh,
that you see him on TV and you think he's like this. Even like he's not your size. I mean, Novak's got. You watch them when they shake hands at the net. I mean, Novak has 4 inches on this guy. And he hits a huge ball, and he's a great athlete. You think, oh, it's another one of these like Marat Safin, like
no.
I mean, I don't think he's 6 feet tall.
Well, what I think he is. Well, either way, we're arguing over like an inch or half an inch. But what I will say is,
just an inch.
What I will say is that like he is physically, like I thought he's imposing. He doesn't feel tiny. I think in 2002, you wouldn't even mention the fact that he's not tall. Because the tours have grown so much since then, and everyone's 6'7". Like 6'7" was like Marc Rosset, who had a bomb serve and couldn't move 2 steps in either direction. Hashtag no offense. So but like he's just I don't know. I think he is built. But yeah, he's not. Yeah, I mean that's not an opinion. What you just said. Novak is 6'4" and Alcaraz is borderline 6 feet. But I think he's.
Right.
When you can run the way that solves for a lot of issues and create that racket at speed. That's for sure.
No, I think it's good. It speaks well of tennis. I just think this is not some hulking monster. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
He's kind of like the antidote to the general trend of like super long string beans being bendy and being able to play defense, right? He's this like dynamo compact guy that just creates all the speed.
You know what? I have a good trivia question for you that we're going to use at the Seaport when we do it. And so an inside listener, if they remember this trivia question, who was the last player to win the U.S. Open on the men's side under 6 feet?
I mean, my mind went to Agassi, but I don't know if there's. Oh no! Agassi won in '99. It's probably Leighton Hewitt.
John,
let me think.
Yeah, Leighton Hewitt,
or was it Alcaraz? Is he listed under 6 feet?
No, it's Leighton Hewitt. 5'10".
Yeah, Hewitt.
Yeah.
Because Alcaraz is listed at 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Hewitt. I lost to him that year. I have inside knowledge. I lost to him in 5 sets that year in the quarters. Okay, let's get to the bottom half of the draw. We'll get you more info on the live show next week in New York at South Street Seaport.
Oh, sorry. No.
Oh, sorry.
It's the rooftop at Pier 17.
Oh, rooftop. It's definitely not the same thing as South Street Seaport.
It's not.
It's definitely not what Pier 17 used to be named. What is it now?
It's the rooftop at Pier 17.
Rooftop
presented by our friends at Chase.
Rooftop at Pier 17. Presented by Chase, and special guest. We haven't had any non-tennis people on. Seal.
Ooh, it's gonna be great.
He's the best, and I guarantee you, he's listening. He is like super fan.
I mean,
he's the coolest.
Good pull.
He's like my energy mentor.
I definitely slow dance to Kiss from a Rose.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You remember that? Like just trying to make out to Kiss from a Rose.
Trying so hard
to make out.
Still trying.
You guys are gonna be stunned. He's like the nicest person ever. Anyways, okay. So Seal will be with us at Rooftop 7 Pier 7.
Rooftop at Pier 17.
That's it. It's the one.
Tickets are available. Chase.com/Sapphire Experiences.
Bam.
Check it out.
There we go. What would I do without you? Okay. Let's get to the bottom half of this draw. Because I haven't seen my kids in 2 days. So let's do this real quick.
Yeah, right.
Casper Ruud, qualifier, Bublik. I don't know. I can't trust Bublik. Like he can upset anyone, but he can also, I'm going to go Ruud just based on like consistency to round 4. Do we have any objections to that? Gail Monfils, round 2, maybe?
Maybe, a little Gail Monfils.
I know, but are you going to choose Monfils over Ruud right now? I mean, he could win, but are you going to choose him?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, former finalist Casper Ruud, but has not set the world on fire lately. But yeah, I think he's through to the middle weekend.
Oh, this next one's tough. Okay. Humbert is the seed in this section. Taylor Fritz is the seed in this section. And friend of the show, Matteo Berrettini.
Ooh.
So Berrettini Fritz, second round is
Berrettini Fritz.
Oh. This is so stupid what I'm about to do. God, this is stupid. Fritz is like hasn't won a match, by the way, in Canada and Cincy. Like post Olympics hasn't won a match on hard courts. This is so stupid. It's literally, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is, you choose a sleeper and then you feel like you have to make something happen with that sleeper. I hate what I'm about to do.
I love it.
I know you do.
All right.
So coming on our podcast will get you all sorts of praise.
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much.
Daniel Collins, raise the trophy now.
This is what I'm about to do is so dumb, so stupid. Oh. And I think did Ruud beat Berrettini when he made final? Yes, in the semis, I think.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think Berrettini's made the semis here twice, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay. Shit. All right. Berrettini through to round 4.
Oh.
All right. What do you like, JW? You like Fritz in that one?
You know, I'm a little bit down on Fritz in majors. It's just, he's coming off a nice run at Wimbledon where he beat Zverev, but he kind of didn't really have it against Musetti. I think that pick is not as crazy as you're cracking it up to be. And you're right. Casper did beat Berrettini in straight sets in 2022. But I don't know. Best of 5 might be a factor in this. I don't think that's the craziest pick, though. I mean, you don't need to apologize for that one.
Great. You didn't make your pick.
I'm not making it, but I'm applauding your courage, and I don't think it's crazy.
So you like?
I think Fritz probably gets. I like Fritz to the quarters.
Fritz to the quarter. You like Fritz to the quarters? Okay, I'm struggling with this Berrettini Ruud matchup. It's so weird because we never give Ruud enough credit ever, and then all of a sudden he makes deep runs and slams like all the time. I'm going.
He lost 3-1 in Cincy.
Ruud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always played pretty terribly there. I'm going fuck it. I'll go Berrettini quarters. My God.
Good man.
Okay. Holger Rune.
What's up, sound I hear?
This is a tough one. This is another sleeper pick. Rune and Nakashima. Nakashima was one of my little floater magoos. I don't think I can do it on like a. I can't pick him against Rune, who just played well. And Rune, I kind of go with momentum. He played pretty well in Cincy. Like, he beat our guy Berrettini there. If Rune had been on one of it, because he's pretty hot and cold. He's pretty streaky. Like, when he wins in bunches, and when he loses in bunches. At least to this point in his career. I'm going Rune in that one, but that's not a draw that he probably wants to see. Musetti Opelka. That's not one that is comfortable for Musetti. Who do you like in this section? Rune and Musetti section.
Yeah, I'm with you. That Nakashima Rune looks tasty on paper, but I think Rune had a nice Cincinnati. I mean, he's had a crazy year and a lot of churn, but he's also guy's won more than 30 matches, and I think his form is pretty good. I don't like Opelka best of 5. I like him a lot more best of 3, given his durability these days.
Who do you have in round 4 there?
But yeah, this is a weird little pocket. I guess Holger Rune by process of elimination. We said he's had a nice summer, bronze medal at the Olympics as well, but different surface.
Yeah, I agree.
Take Holger.
I have Rune in round 4, and it feels like I have Rune in round 4. Okay. Yeah. Cerundolo, Zverev section. Ooh, this is a good sleeper one. Pericard and Echeverry. I like.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going in this section. I'm going Echeverry into the 3rd round. Producer Mike apparently doesn't agree. I'm Zverev through to the 4th round in this section. Objections?
And Zverev. Have you ever seen a player who conducts himself with more self-confidence and then sort of retreats in pressure moments? I mean, it's such a strange dichotomy with Zverev. This guy loses close matches, like, as a matter of, I mean, there's always a weird
thing with that, though. Like, I asked, it is weird. I got approached by a journalist one time, and they're like, well, in big matches, you're X and then you're X. I'm like, okay, so you count when I lose in the round of 16 as a big match, but you don't count any match I win in the round of 16 as a big match. And he was basically like, yeah. I'm like, well, of course you're going to get the fucking stat you want. Like you're making up your own rules as to what a big match is. I hear you. I just don't think it's as drastic as everyone else makes it out to be. I think if you get to a final and you're a set away, then I think the cobwebs and kind of the scar tissue starts coming in. I have Zverev through to the semis. I think he's going to win big matches in the round of 16 and the quarters. Who do you like?
You have more faith and fidelity than I do. I don't know. I mean, this guy did get to a major and was a set away. And he did have a 2-set-to-love lead over Taylor Fritz at Wimbledon, and he did have
I think
in his hometown event in Humber.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just think it's a little overplayed, and I don't think you're wrong. I think a lot of it's matchups. I do think he has some mental scar tissue. I just think people cherry pick that narrative and they're looking for it in every single match. Similar to like him double faulting. As soon as he double faults once now, everyone's like, oh, here it comes. And it's been pretty solid for like the better part of 2 years now, right? But like the narrative hasn't died.
Right.
Who do you like getting through to the semis?
Fair point. Am I saying this right? It's Taylor Fritz in the semis. Do I have that right?
You tell me, man.
All right. Taylor Fritz to reach his first major semi.
Do you remember when we started and you said, I just have like some question marks about Taylor Fritz and majors?
Yeah, I know. Okay. I know. But I'm playing this out and then it sort of becomes, who do you have? Maybe it's fair.
I was fair.
Fair enough. All right. Fair enough.
Rublev and Lehechka. I love the way Eubanks is playing this week in Winston-Salem. Been texting with him a little bit. I thought he pulled out a tough one, winning some tough matches. He's like super positive. He's like, I'm playing. I'm gonna work my way through it. Like he's like the king of self.
He's the best.
He's like the king of self-talk. Rublev, but also I'm going Rubles to the 4th round. Sorry, Banks.
Ooh.
You're a rational person. You won't get mad at me.
So Lehechka.
Yeah.
You want to hear? Yeah, we all root for Chris. Chris Eubanks is one of those. You're allowed to violate the no rooting in the press box rule for Chris Eubanks. But Lehechka, who beat who'd Lehechka beat? I think didn't he beat Medvedev? He beat Medvedev in Cincinnati. This guy is seeded. He did not play a match between Madrid and Cincinnati.
Yeah, where
he's still a top 32 player.
Yeah, he was playing great in Madrid too. On his way to a final there, and it beat Rafa actually in Madrid. And then, anyways, so he beats big players. What do you want to do with him?
I like Lehechka
to the fourth round.
Wow,
I like it. I just need I mean, he did beat Medvedev. He likes that matchup, by the way. Like Medvedev doesn't like guys that can serve big and kind of come forward on him consistently. Like it's a very specific matchup. Okay, so you have Lehechka there. I like Dimitrov. I'm going Dimitrov quarters.
Ooh, nice.
What are you doing?
I'm picking Sebastian Baez to lose in the first round. I saw that Dardery, I think you pronounce it. I saw him a little bit, and he's a nice player. And what do you know? It's about time Italy furnished us with an up-and-coming tennis talent.
Seriously,
I like. I had Lehechka beating Grigor in round 4.
You have Lehechka,
but I don't know. You're probably right. Probably right.
Lehechka beating. So you have Lehechka. No, I like the. You're taking swings. I like it. Okay, Lehechka. You have Lehechka in the quarters. I'm a big fan of Lehechka's game. I think he's going to be a top 10 player at some point. I don't know. It's tough. Like Rubles, I don't know. I can't figure him out. Like every time I think he's going to slump his way out of like the top 10 or 15, he like makes the final of a Masters 1000, and then he loses. I don't know. Anyways, I'm a big fan of his. He's in like I love people who emote. It's more entertaining. Anyways, Ben Shelton, Dominic Thiem. Name value is a big matchup.
Night session.
Dominic, maybe. I guess. I just don't know how Dominic Thiem's going to break him enough, and I think Ben is going to get enough looks at his serve. Dominic Thiem isn't playing regularly now. This is I think it's a well placed wild card for Dominic Thiem, who won the pandemic version of the U.S. Open in 2020 in that match against Zverev. Where's Zverev? To your point, to put it gently, he wants moments of that match back. I like Ben Shelton and Tiav and Francis in the third round, which would be a rematch of the quarters from last year. Any reason not to write them into the third round, John Wertheim?
No, I didn't. I love this. So Dominic Thiem gets a wild card. I think this is good on the USTA. Honor the former champion. I don't think he's beating Ben Shelton. I don't think he's coming close to beating Ben Shelton, but he'll get a nice big court. He'll get a nice send-off. Mission accomplished. And I gotta think. I have Francis Shelton as well, and I'm curious to hear your read on that because I think we get a different result in 2023.
I think so too. I was with Francis a bunch yesterday. He was. It almost felt like talking to him. I was like, really, you kind of dug your way out of some form, and he was like, he wasn't trying to sell his first half of the year as anything less than bad. But he played well in Cincinnati. He loves fast courts. Like he has the short take back on the backhand side. He makes the serve a little bit better. He doesn't return any worse. If anything, maybe he returns a little bit better, can get away with a little chippy Magoo on his forehand. I like Francis also. I like Novak through to the final. I like Novak to win the tournament.
Oh, you hit fast forward there.
Yeah, I mean, I have it. Look, I've had it written in. With just he's going through. Right. I like Novak over Zverev. I'm going to choose Novak over the Chuckster. Who do you like getting through to the final from the bottom of the half, and who is your winner? Is Lehechka beating? Is Lehechka winning? Is it Lehechka and Andreeva your winners?
Yeah, exactly. With Leylah Fernandez coming in a close third. I said wow when you picked Novak, and then I look at my draw and I'm like, oh yeah, I have him going to the final too.
You just have Alcaraz winning.
I mean, I do. I have a Wimbledon rematch. I have Alcaraz winning. I think Novak is just extraordinary, and I think that he hasn't played since the Olympics. You know what? We don't worry about him finding form. He's also, I mean, the draw helps him as always. And we didn't mention Popyrin, who wins. Yeah,
I was about to go Montreal, back and say,
but I don't think.
I got excited. I don't want to ignore the accomplishments of Popyrin winning in Canada. earning his seed. Also, Struff in any major. I like him. That's not a matchup that Novak will love. And also it's one that he can handle and has handled many times in his career.
Can I pose a question to you guys?
Yeah.
Because we had the kid ask us the question about how much longer he thinks Novak's going to play for. I mean, you think if he wins this, now that he has the gold?
I'm not doing the thing where I try to pretend like I know what someone's going to do. And no, I think his personality is like, I am going to run up the fucking scoreboard as long as I can.
I love that.
And I'm going to smash
LA
people.
2028.
I love that.
My default answer when I've gotten that lately is LA 2028. I feel like that buys us all some time.
Yeah, he said that. He did say, like, I want to play the Olympics in 2028.
He did.
That buys him a lot of time with that question.
It doesn't mean he has to play every tournament or anything, right? He just stay tuned up.
Yeah. Novak was telling us, it was Mac, me and him sitting there, and he was telling us, like, Mac mentioned, like, God, that square in Serbia where, I don't know if you've seen the footage, but like 120, 130,000 people gather and it just goes crazy. And he was talking about after, Paris, I saw Jason Tatum out one night. We had fun. And I said, yeah, I'll get in trouble with your fans for this. But I made the comment that I think I've seen footage of you out more post-Olympics than I've seen footage of you out in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, right.
And he had a pretty good laugh about that. He thought that was
right.
One, I think he didn't say it was inaccurate. But anyways, he was in good spirits. I just think momentum is a big driver. He's no longer trying to find something angsty. I just think he's free and easy, and I think he's going to be downhill this event. I like Novak to win. We're really going out on the limb with this Alcaraz Novak final, aren't we, John Wertheim?
You know what? When you've got two guys that are at this level, I mean, I just still marvel. I mean, you say Novak Djokovic. This is not because it's sentimental Andy Roddick, and it's just seeing this 37-year-old. Maybe he'll have a Jimmy Connors type run in him. No. This is solely based on his tennis. He's 37 years old. He's coming off an Olympic gold medal, and we're not mentioning any sentimentality. This is strictly about X's and O's and matchups in the draw. And I have him going to the finals. You have him winning the tournament, and it doesn't seem particularly daring or absurd. And yet, you keep in mind that this guy's 30 months from turning 40, and it's just extraordinary what he continues to achieve.
It's absurd. What's also absurd is the taste of a cream soda. Hey, Techie Sean, I'm happy this one didn't explode all over me.
Yeah.
I'm happy this Olipop didn't just. I'm happy I'm not wearing it now.
Okay.
Techie Sean ruined me at the live show.
Well, guys, we did it. We made it through.
We did it.
The last draw special of the year.
That's it. Here we are. Who knows if we'll?
Fun.
Who knows if we'll ever do another one?
I have no idea.
Wait, the last draw special of the year. Where I thought we're
if HR gets a hold of the cutting room floor, we're
shit.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. I'm kind of like I'm becoming less stunned, but I'm quasi stunned every time that we get to do another show.
Yeah, right.
Oh, great.
Definitely starting to singe my eyebrows flying close to the sun sometimes.
Yeah. I was sorry. I know I'm like, I had a great afternoon at the courts where I saw a bunch of people I haven't seen in a long time. And there's this actor who's a friend and a guy named Boris Kojo who's been in a bunch of stuff. But like a legit, probably the best celebrity tennis player I've ever seen was a really high ranked junior, but played on Ash last night after us, like legit. Good player, and he was talking about the podcast. Like, man, this is great. It's like doing, well. And I didn't even. It was like a slip. I said, yeah, man. It was fun. And he's like, what do you mean was fun? I'm like, oh shit. I'll be stunned if we're on next week. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. But anyways, draw special. Any parting thoughts before we see everyone next week? When the U.S. Open is in full flow, give us the details for our live show at Rooftop 17, Pier 17.
Rooftop. The rooftop at Pier 17.
Rooftop Pier 17.
On the 28th.
Yep.
Get your tickets, chase.com/Sapphire Experiences. We will be on at 7 o'clock. There'll be some cool swag. Awesome guest in Seal.
What's swag?
I don't know what swag is.
Is swag your Rooftop Pier 17?
They said swag. I don't know. Maybe some
Swag?
Wilson stuff. Swag.
Yeah, let's get some swag.
Swag.
Yeah.
Swag.
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 Why are you saying it with a CH?
Swag. I said swag.
Are you trying?
Swag. Am
Like Wayne's World. SWAG.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, bro.
I feel like you're having a seizure every time you say it.
Swag.
Oh my God. Are you being serious right now? Or is this a bit?
That's a bit.
Oh my God.
Much like Laver.
Yeah. Maybe some Lava Cup t-shirts, swag. Okay. Anyways, we've wasted the last 3 minutes of your time. JW, anything we need to look forward to, or should we just hit him with the good stuff next week?
You know, we mock ourselves for this show going off the rails, but we are never going to survive unless we
get a little crazy. Nice one. Well done. Because you're never going to survive. Right. And also, I'll be damned if I don't watch the scene in Superbad when they get the when McLovin gets the fake ID. Do you know what I'm talking about? And he goes, "One name? What, McLovin, one name? What are you, SEAL?" Anyways, this has been Served, brought to you by Chase. We'll see you next week.